Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we're going to be talking about EEAT and what you should be thinking about when it comes to establishing that trust when you are trying to build out a brand. One thing that I will say is that there's a lot of people that misconceive EEAT, or they some cases might not actually believe in it. Before we get into this video, make certain to check out cadrodash.com, where you can book me out for a free 15-minute strategy call and I can go over how you can grow your organic traffic for your website. One thing that I will say is that there are certain amounts of EEAT for every single website. So for example, if you're trying to rank in the gambling industry, you might not need as much EEAT as you would do in the medical industry. As I have mentioned before in a lot of videos, SEO isn't just one size fits all. What you should be looking to do is trying to essentially build out as much EEAT as you can in your specific industry. So a few things that I would be looking to do is building out a branded SERP for your website. So if we take a look at the match artist here, and if I was to just refresh this page, as you can see here, you have got a lot of different examples where it's actually mentioning the match artist. So you've got Press Advantage, you've got New York Weekly, even on Reddit, the American Reporter, Morning Brew, Zoom Info, and there are also a lot of other websites that mention the match artist as well. So if you can get listed on some of these websites, now these are just regular guest posts that essentially mention the actual brand, but again, from a brand building point of view, that is helpful. Now, to actually see this section about your website, or if you're trying to look at a competitor's website, all you need to do is put in the actual TLD, so the full domain name. So for example, if we were to take a look at FatRank, as you can see, there's a lot of different articles that actually mention our brand. So very quickly you can see that the actual FatRank brand is actually a well-established, well-spoken about brand, as opposed to a lot of websites. They will get thrown up and there is literally no recollection of them on the actual web. So it's always really good to essentially try and get your brand mentioned. Also, in some cases, these can be unlinked mentions as well, because again, it is just mentioning your brand. One thing that I will also say as well is not every single time your brand is actually mentioned, it has to be linked to. If you were to take a look at some monster websites out there, for example, IBM, if they have a massive plummet in their stock price, there will naturally be articles talking about IBM, and they won't necessarily always be linking to the IBM website as well. So just bear that in mind when you are doing any form of link building or guest posting, that not every single time you need to essentially be linking through to your website. So the next section I want to talk about is the actual offer pages. Now, there's a lot of pages that I see online where they're not actually describing who their offers are, or for example, they might be half written pages. So it might be about James. There's loads of Jameses, however, there aren't as many James Dooleys. So one thing that I will always recommend to you guys to do is, obviously in your subheadings, if you're talking about your offer and your offer is, for example, Steve Dash, make certain that you are always speaking about their full name, not just Steve. Just think of how many Steves there are on the planet. So again, this helps with EEAT and it helps with tying everything together. Now again, once you have the about page of your offer set up, the next step is to actually do link building. And some of the best methods that I have been able to get links for offers is actually, like for example, Washington Times, The Independent. As you can see, we've got an article talking about James here, and all of these help with EEAT. Now the biggest thing when it comes to EEAT is making certain that the actual offer name is mentioned either in the actual H1 or throughout the article. The last thing you want is just a quote. It needs to be specifically be talking about the actual person. So for example, in this article here, we actually don't have James's name mentioned. However, if we actually look down here, James Dooley, and he's mentioned several other times. So James, he's mentioned a lot of times throughout the article, and then in this article it's even better because it's in the H1, and again, when you search James Dooley SEO, all of these articles essentially rank for the name. Now, this helps massively when it comes to EEAT. This is off-page EEAT. A lot of people don't actually mention this when it comes to EEAT, but EEAT at the end of the day, it is very much to do with brand recognition, link building, how much trust your actual offers have, but also how much trust your brand has overall as well. So as we can see, we've done a lot of off-page EEAT talking about James in actual publications. Again, if you guys do want any help with actual PR link building for any of your offers or your brands, make sure to check out casualdash.com, fill out the form, and I can assist you with that as well. But this all helps when it comes to EEAT, essentially tying everything together. If you can essentially link your social profiles like what we have done here, again, it just helps with the actual brand. So some of the links are going through to the Twitter profiles, some are going through to the actual about page. Everything is just getting tied together, and when somebody was to search James Dooley SEO, they very quickly know that it's the specific James Dooley that owns FatRank. Again, it helps a lot when it comes to The next thing that I want to speak about, if you guys can do this, is podcasting. So as we can see here, if we take a look at James Dooley, he has been on a lot of lately, and again, it helps when it comes to the actual authoritativeness. A lot of people will now take a look at James Dooley and see, he's been on various different podcasts. He's been on a podcast with Charles Float. He's been on a podcast with Dolly P. Eagle, with Julian Goldie, Jamie Ross, various different people, even Nathan Gotch. And again, very quickly, people will take a look at James and see, he is an expert when it comes to SEO. I'm going to contact him for his expertise, potentially book him out for consultancy. And that's essentially how you become an expert in the industry. So if you guys, for example, are in the travel industry, you might have a travel related website. Try and go on some travel related podcasts and talk about your experiences. Again, I've mentioned this before, you can be the best brain surgeon in the world, but if Google doesn't see that you are the best brain surgeon in the world by you going on all of these podcasts, by other websites mentioning you, then Google won't know who you are, so you're not going to rank. Now, the next big thing that I want to speak about is the importance of ranking images as well. There are a lot of persona-based offers out there that only have one image on the web. As we can see, James Dooley, obviously he is a real person. So as we can see here, the entire front page is just flooded with pictures of him. There's various pictures over the years. So for example, why is James Dooley the godfather of SEO marketing? And it is talking about James Dooley. There's a lot of podcast appearances. So whenever you're actually a guest on a podcast, again, the thumbnail of the video actually ranks. So if we actually click onto this, we'll see that it is actually a podcast that he has been on. But again, this all ties together with EEAT, making certain that it is a trustworthy person. If somebody was to actually take a look at the images section and the video section, yes, we can see that he is a real person. And if we take a look at the images section, very quick scan, yes, he has a lot of pictures. He's active on social media as well. So 11 hours ago, one day ago, he's posting like crazy. He has got a LinkedIn profile. He has got various about pages. His YouTube ranks. Is he easy to actually contact? Yes, he is, because he's got his LinkedIn there. He's got his Twitter here. We can DM him anytime. He has his own personal website as well, which is another key thing that we could definitely do. So this leads me on to my last EEAT checkbox. If you guys can build a personal website for your offers, then even better. So again, not a lot of people are doing this. This is probably going one step too far. But again, we're trying to tick as many things as we can when it comes to EEAT. And again, in a lot of cases, you might not need to do this. But if you want to, for example, rank in law, or if you want to try and rank in the medical industry, then definitely do some of these things that I have mentioned. Get the branded PR links for your offers. Get the branded links for your actual website. Build out a personal website for your actual offers. Be active on socials, do podcast appearances. All of these will help establish trust and actual authority and expertise in your industry. So if you guys can get on a few, let's say, cooking podcasts talking about your favorite recipes, great, go and do it, because again, you're going to rank the image, you're going to rank the video, there's going to be thumbnails of you, you're actually going to be talking with an actual expert, because an expert typically has a podcast. So again, you can host your own podcast as well when it comes to EEAT as well. So all of these little micro wins will help establish trust and also authoritativeness when it comes to your offer rank. So that has been my video on EEAT. If you guys do have any questions regarding EEAT, or if you feel like I've missed anything, feel free to drop a comment down below and I will answer any questions. And if you guys do want a free 15-minute growth strategy call for your website, make sure to check out cadredash.com. Thanks.